Hey my friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Alex, I'm a nervous system coach. I help you master your energy so you can begin actualizing your ideal life. Today I'm diving in and exploring my insights and perspectives on the particular part of the journey that we could label the hermit phase or the isolation phase, when we go through big moments of change within our lives. And these points in our lives are very much precipitated by the realization that our habits are no longer serving us. The ones that have got us up to this point are no longer serving us, and we start to question those habits and behaviors. We start to question the people that we're friends with, the culture that we're in. A very relevant one is the alcohol culture. We start to question, like, not going to the pub anymore, like not going to the club anymore, not going to all this stuff that's like socially acceptable and seen as the thing to do. We start to outcast ourselves a little bit, becoming the outcast of potentially family dynamics as well, family, friends. We start to consciously and unconsciously isolate ourselves from all of that. We start to almost put up a barrier and a distance between ourselves and that. And one of my intentions for doing this video is for me to say to you that that's totally natural. It's totally natural for you to be going through this phase. If anything, it's healthy for you to be going through this. It's healthy for you to be a pattern breaker within the culture that's actually relatively broken anyway. We're living in mass delusion when it comes to what's acceptable and what are the norms of things to do within our culture dynamic. And you stepping away from that is probably potentially one of the most empowering moves you will ever make. And it's one that requires the most courage from you. It requires a lot of courage because, like I've said previously, you're stepping away from potentially your family, your friends, the people that you work with. All of these groups of people are going to be almost asking questions like, what's the matter with this guy? Like, what's he doing? He's meditating all the time now. He's sitting in ice baths and doing all this crazy shit. Like, what that doesn't make sense to us. And that's not me judging anyone in any way. It's just when you start to do something a little bit different to what the mass crowds are doing, it naturally starts to raise eyebrows. It starts to raise kind of the eyes start rolling a little bit like, what is this guy doing? But for you, the person that I'm speaking to now, who's receiving this message, I want to say, keep stepping into it. That is your spirit. That's your deeper, higher element of yourself, a higher aspect of you that knows to a certain degree a little bit more than you and knows the future that you're ready to be pulled into, because your current present moment is not serving you and it's not in a line with the future that you want to get pulled into. And that's where we start to harmonize the present and the future. We bring into alignment, we start to bring in that in alignment, we align with the future that we want to get pulled into, because we need to generate and start to stimulate and create the habits that are in line with that future self. And that future self doesn't want to be going to the pub, doesn't want to be getting drunk, doesn't want to be doing drugs, doesn't want to be watching pornography, doesn't want to be like doped out on social media. All of these alluring qualities that we have within our culture. I've utilized alcohol as one, but we know what the rest is. We all know that we're all addicted to something to a varying degree. And it's all essentially got to go. There will be times, one thing I've noticed within my journey, I was reckless with drugs and alcohol in my early days. But then there was a time when I had a massive purification, when I've taken everything out. Everything went. I went through a deep cleanse of purification of the mind, body, spirit. And I actually had these phases where I drifted in and I did trial drugs, alcohol again, with a different evolved consciousness, a more maturer consciousness of trying, let's see how I respond. And then there was a much more level-headed approach. And that's something that can come later on, and you'll be in a much deeper space of decision and alignment of whether this feels in alignment with my higher self. And as soon as you don't feel it, it will go. There won't be a ripple effect of like you'll go back on that wagon again and like you'll regress and it will go, even though there may be phases like that, and that's totally cool. But there's people I'm kind of be tuning into now are the ones that are really maybe haven't stepped that bit yet. You've just questioning maybe at the minute that this doesn't feel in line with you, and you're feeling more in line with things like, like meditation, breath work, like you've seen cold exposure, like advertised around, like things are like different things are plucking up your curiosity. And all this stuff is within like the healing, wellness, personal growth, sphere and energy field starts to really grab your curiosity. And then it's just a state of to allow that curiosity to lead you into those different areas and explore it and just naturally see things fall away. And there's no forcing and there's no real you doing anything in all of this is the real raw truth that it's quite hard to fathom on a conceptual level, that there isn't a me doing anything. It's just a natural evolutionary unfolding of something that's automatic. Like creation is an automatic process. There isn't a me. That's the probably like that's up there with one of the biggest illusions going is it's like, yeah man, it's like I'm doing all of this, I'm in control of everything, which is false in truth. So this journey is this deepening of the state of just allowing this all to unfold, allowing your curiosity to keep trusting your curiosity to take you there. We're going to explore that and around, and just it's a natural letting go, which you aren't doing. It's things just are falling away. And I always talk about the gradient line of transition. It's not like everything just falls away at once. It's not like that. Maybe there will be, I'll take 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. There'll be this ebb and flow, but there will be a progressional trajectory of this going up, an ascension, and everything's just kind of falling to the sides that are not around with it. Maybe it'll come back a little bit, boop, boop, boop. But in general, the gradient line will be going up, and through that process, things like all the stuff that I listed a moment ago, I won't do it again, you know what they are, will just fall away. But the loner phase, to make this a real positive video, there's going to be moments when you will be on you'll feel like you're on your own. You'll feel distant from everything that's going on within your life, and you'll feel quite introverted, you'll feel cocooned, and you'll feel very introspective and reflective. And things will start to creep up, books will start coming in, information will start to come in, stuff that's actually there that's going to be guiding and supporting you through this process of the inward journey. This video will pop up and you'll listen to this, and more of this will happen. People sharing the same ideas, but in different insights and perspective, but from different perspectives, all aiding you in your journey, essentially. And keep trusting that. Keep trusting these synchronicities of everything being perfect, of what's popping up for you. And the profound void and space of that loner phase is, when cultivated, and all this stuff that's coming into you right now will be helping you with this, it's such a potent ground for growth and learning. And I can hear people saying now, but we need, say, contrast. We need like relationships to learn from, and we do, but that ebbs and flows as well. I've noticed within my journey, I have deep moments of reflection where I'm on my own. I reflect and I'm doing more, working on the inner ground, working in the stillness, in the silence, working on reflection, working on my awareness. And then you'll be leashed into the next phase where you'll have people coming in that you'll learn from, situations, circumstances will arise where you're like, okay, this is a learning point. But each moment of the loner phase and hermit phase is cultivating your grounds to be able to receive what's coming in next down the line, that's helping you essentially along this trajectory of growth, spiritual development and evolution. So if you're in this now, nurture it, trust the faith in the unseen reality. I mean, this is where we get into the roots and the crutches of really deepening our connection with God. We start to deepen our connection with the unseen reality. And it's really important that you start to deepen your trust with the unseen reality, and you know what the qualities of the unseen reality are. And it's not the God of the Old Testament, someone who's condemning us and wants to condemn us to hell, and if we're not good. And it's none of that. It's just pure love. The unseen reality is love, support, infinite compassion, infinite benevolence, there silently supporting and guiding us through this while we're trying to conceptualize and do our thing of working it all out, and then coming away from that and then realizing it's more feeling, more tuning in, more of that kind of energy. And the void, this loner phase, is the birthing place of the creation of your next phase. You're coming into alignment with that higher aspect, your life desire and purpose and passion, and the life you most desire. With each cyclical pattern of this loner phase becomes more and more and more. You'll keep having these, you'll have a loner phase, and you'll go back into the world almost, and you'll experience a bit more contrast, and then you'll come back, you'll learn some things, go away, come back. And then it's all edging you towards this blossoming of your full, like your fullness and your full life desire of working through those gnarly bits of those energy patterns that we need to work our way through because they're just getting in the way. And it's like that spiritual, emotional debris that's not serving us, that is serving us to a weird degree. You know, when we say lots of, we hear that a lot, saying things that don't serve us, but they are to a certain degree, that everything's serving us. So we work through all of that, becoming clearer and clearer and clearer each time, and refining our perfection of our soul, the refinement journey of our soul and our spirit, which then becomes more and more reflected into the external world of feeling that high vibration of alignment, and all of this coming from those moments of the hermit, the isolation phase, of how powerful that contrast is for you to go through, to nurture, to cultivate and trust. And I'm not saying this flippantly, because it can be hard to trust that moment. It can be a trial, a trying ground to work through, because you feel like you're letting go of so much. You feel quite distant from everyone. So it's this ebb and flow of like, oh, doubt, fear coming up, working through it. And that's the big thing about it. What it's all about is, that's one of the intentions of the loner phase, is that it brings up all that fear and doubt that we need to work through on our own, to recognize it, to keep seeing it, and to put us into that intense environment of, I've got nowhere else to look but anywhere other than myself, to see my shadows, my fears, my doubts, and all those vibrations that need recognizing to process through, which are essentially getting away in that higher aspect, that higher vision that we have for our life, of being totally boundless, infinitely free within the human realm. Sending you so much love, my friends. I've loved this video so much. I love talking about this because it's been so relevant on my journey, and I'm so relevant for you guys going through this right now. You may be ebbing and flowing through it. You may have seen cyclical patterns of this happening, of all of this unfolding like I've explained today. Keep trusting, my friends. Keep trusting, trusting, trusting. I'm already looking forward to the next video, to see you there. Thank you so much for commenting, subscribing, liking if you're vibing this content, and sending you a little bit more love. And I'll see you in the next video.